Hi there. My name's Robert Twine, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about fear and starting before fear. Do you ever have an experience in your life whenever you have that feeling that you may define as fear and it stops you from doing what you want to do, stops you from stepping out because of what the possibilities of the future could look like? If you said yes to this question, you are human. You're a human being because I think we all can relate to that and say yes to that question. So I want to tell you a little story. And the story is about my girlfriend and I. We went to a local place where people like to ride their bikes around a lake. It's a nice little trail that goes around the lake. And my girlfriend had not ridden a bike since she was about 10 years old. And she was open to ride a bike again. And she's my age now. She's in her 40s and she looks like she's in her 20s. It's phenomenally and beautiful and young. And the story is about the bike. I bought her a bike, a beach bike, and we got the bikes off the bike rack of the car and we're getting ready to get going. And she wanted to have her seat adjusted a little bit. She wanted her seat to be lowered. And so I lowered the seat for her and put it down. And she wanted her seat to be down low to the ground. That way she could keep her feet on the ground so that she could put her feet on the ground to stop herself. And that if she got off balance, that she could catch herself. And so she got on the bike. I lowered it, put it down. She got on the bike and we went for a ride. And what she noticed and what I noticed was that she was having a hard time keeping balance because she was lower on the seat. And another thing that when we would come up to the hills, she was having a hard time getting any kind of leverage to get up the hills. And I asked her if I could maybe raise her seat a little bit, and she wanted to keep her feet close to the ground because she didn't want to fall. She wanted to make sure that she could catch herself if she happened to start to lean to one side or the other. So we rode for a while like that. Every hill that we came to, she stopped and would push her bike, which was fine. And we got to the other side of the lake and we stopped, took a look out at the lake, and I asked her if it would be okay. Maybe I could raise your seat up just a little bit. And she was open to say yes to that. So I did. I raised her seat maybe like an inch or two. And something amazing happened. She found that she had way more control. She was way more comfortable, and she was able to have the leverage to get up the hills. And I wanted to share that story here. It's like once she got on the bike with the raised seat, she was like she had been riding a bike all those years. She was able to get up the hills easily. She was able to pedal, and she was very comfortable and very natural. So I'd love for you to hear that story about something in your life. Where are you trying to keep the seat low and keep your feet on the ground so you don't fall? Where in your life are you keeping your feet close to the ground and trying to keep yourself safe? But it's making it really, really hard to get up that hill. Maybe you even have to get off the bike to walk it up the hill. Sometimes, maybe the scariest way is really the best way to move forward and the most comfortable, the most fun, and the easiest. But in our mind, we may create a scenario where oh, I need to keep my feet close to the ground because what if I fall? And we end up creating scenarios in our life through trying to avoid this imagination of disaster. And I'll ask you another question. What is fear? This is a place maybe you can write this down. How do you define fear right now? What is your definition of fear? Just write it down. What is your current definition of fear? Many people would say fear is not being good enough. Fear is thinking that something bad's going to happen. Fear is the feeling that I get of distress and worry. Um, and some may say fear is the mind killer. Fear is, you can have so many definitions. What's your definition of fear? And I want to share another definition with you. My experience of fear is the body's response to present danger. Have you ever been driving your vehicle or doing something and a present danger comes up and all the resources you need are right there and time slows down? I've had this happen in a car. I'm driving a car pulled out in front of me, and time slowed down. I was able to turn the wheel and hit the brake in just the right way and then swerve back around this car. And I had everything I needed to avoid the accident. Has this ever happened to you where time slowed down? That's what fear is. It's the body's natural response to present danger. The energy comes in and it gets diverted to all the right areas to give us the energy to be able to respond to that situation and keep us safe. So fear in that instance keeps us safe. So it could be easy to think that using that fear on purpose and looking forward to see what could the problems be in the future to protect ourselves and keep us safe could be a great idea. And I would call that particular way of using that body's response as worry, as worry. And I have another question for you. If I could wave a magic wand and eliminate all your worries forever, you'd never worry again. Would you want me to? Now, many people would say, no, I want my worry. Many people would say, no, I need that. It keeps me safe. I need that worry. I need to look ahead and see what the problems are going to be so I can avoid them. And I want to invite you to think of a question of, is that true? Is worry really keeping you safe? Is that worry really helping you to create what you want to create in your world? Or is that part of what is keeping you from stepping into your greatest self? Is that what is keeping you from taking the actions that you can take to create what you want to create? Kung Fu Panda. I don't know if you've seen this movie. It's an animated movie with Jack Black as the voice for the panda named Po. In that movie, one of the lines from the um, Master Oogway. Oogway says to, I believe, Master Shifu, he says, many times on the road to avoid our fears, we often meet our destiny. Something along those lines. Many times on the road to avoid our fears, we meet our destiny. And what that means is when we focus on what we're scared of and what we fear, sometimes the actions we take to avoid our fears or avoid our worries, let's call them worries, we unconsciously end up creating our worries to come true. There's a great um, movie called Star Wars. Maybe you've seen it. And I think it's in three, episode three, where Anakin Skywalker, it's his transition where he becomes Darth Vader. And the Dark Lord comes to Anakin Skywalker, and Anakin's been having these dreams about Padme, which is the love of his life. And he's been having dreams about Padme dying in childbirth. And he's really scared about it. And he doesn't want that to happen. It's the one thing that he doesn't want to happen. And the Dark Lord is sensing that he's having these fearful dreams. And he comes to him and says, I can give you the power so that this won't happen. I can give you the power to stop this fear from happening. So Anakin turns to the dark side. And when he turns to the dark side, he ends up doing a lot of crazy things. If you've seen the movie, you know the things that he does. And then what ends up happening is he ends up getting so caught up from turning to the dark side and so out of his mind, insane, that he ends up choking Padme and she ends up dying in childbirth because he turned to the dark side to try to control his fear. So many times in life, on the road that we take to avoid our fears, we meet our fears. We create them to happen. So maybe we think worry is helping us. And the invitation here is to really look. Is worry really helping you to create what you want to create in your life? Is that future thinking of what the problems are going to be to avoid it actually helping you? And let me ask you a question. If you're baking, say you're making a meal today, you're cooking, you're making a meal today, but you're thinking about the meal tomorrow, the meal next week that you're going to be making, and you're really, really worried that you're not going to have enough flour, you're not going to have enough eggs, you're not going to have enough milk, you won't have enough meat, or maybe you're afraid you're going to make something, you're going to create a food item next week. You're going to bake something and you're going to put in the wrong ingredients. So while you're making today's meal, you're making a steak and potato and some broccoli, and you're cooking some things in the oven, and you're thinking about what tomorrow's meal is going to be like, and you're thinking that you're going to mess it up. And you're trying to figure out how in the world I can make this meal in a way tomorrow. I got to make sure that I make that meal in a certain way, or I have to figure out how can I avoid. Now I better go to the store, and the whole time your food's cooking, and you end up, oh, it's smoke's coming out of the oven because all you're thinking about is what you're going to do tomorrow and how you're going to avoid ruining tomorrow's meal. Is that helpful for you to cook the meal today? Is that helpful for you to cook your dinner today, thinking about how to avoid burning tomorrow's meal? Just think about that. And here's something else that comes up. A lot of people feel like worry is useful, and that's great. It's a great start to know what you don't want. It's good that you know that you don't want to burn your meal. Here's another example. A good start is to know I don't want to die. Okay, cool. Then another level could be I don't want to be unhealthy. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to be miserable. Okay, great. That's a good start. The big shift can come when we realize, okay, well, what is it that I do want? We get to use that energy that has been focused in this of like, I don't want to burn my meal. I don't want to screw it up. I don't want to be not good enough to like, okay, well, what do I want to create? I don't want to be unhealthy. I don't want to be sick. Okay, well, what do you want to create? I want to create healthy living. I want to create a strong body. I want to create powerful, powerful muscles. I want to create endurance. I want to create strength. I want to create breathing strong. We can shift that focus to what we do want. And that's the same idea of shifting from worry to creating. We can create through saying, well, I don't want this, so I'm going to take this action to avoid it. Or we can take a more straight line of like, what do I want? Okay, let's go that direction. And the last thing I'm going to share here, I hope this is really useful for you. I hope you're hearing something in this that is really useful for you. And the last thing I want to share around is a video by Michael Neal. It's called Why Aren't We Awesomer? And one of the stories he tells in that is a story about a show that he was on. And it's where they took things that are considered impossible and people prove that they can do these things that are impossible. And he said that one of the other people that was on the show when he was on it was a stunt driver that to see if you could actually stop a car on a dime. And he said they tested it and he was able to actually stop a car right on a dime. Pretty amazing. And Michael Neal was there because what he was doing was the phobia cure. It's an NLP technique, neuro linguistic programming technique called the phobia cure. And Michael was there to cure 3 people of a phobia of spiders. And a couple days before the show was going to be aired and recorded, um, the 3 people came in so they could get an experience of what it was going to be like to be on the show. They had them hooked up to all these EKG machines to test their body's response so that they knew like okay they're scared their body would show it on the EKG machines. So they had them in there to test all these machines to make sure the machines worked and everything was working. And Michael said this guy brought out a cart with 3 glass containers on it, 3 glass clear boxes. And the 3 people that were scared of spiders were standing there looking at the boxes, and Michael was standing there. And the man who wheeled the box out said, he was the producer, and he said, when we do the show, there's going to be live spiders in each of these clear boxes. And the 3 people who were having their phobias cured, their EKG machines started going crazy. There were no spiders in the glass boxes. But these people's response was if there was. And Michael shared in this video, he realized in that moment something really profound. We're not scared of what we think we're scared of. We're scared of what we think. Fear is not a product of things, it's a product of our thinking. Scariness is not a product of a thing, it's a product of our thinking. So I want to leave you with that. I hope this has been really valuable for you. If you're if this has been curious for you, if it's brought up some questions, if you really want to step beyond fear in your life, I would invite you to reach out. Somehow you got this video through some connection, someone shared this with you. You can reach out to me if you'd like to have a conversation around this at shiftofperspective@gmail. You can send me an email and we can create a time to talk a little bit more about this. I hope you got a lot out of this video and I'm looking forward to connecting soon. Have a great day.